Hello everybody, welcome to another episode. For this video I want to do something a little different. Usually we show how to make and apply decals, how to heat press t-shirts and all that. This video is not going to be about that. Two things I want to mention before we get started. The first thing is this video is going to be mainly for beginners, and second, if you are looking or thinking of getting CorelDRAW, I just want to give you an idea how we use this software to create or vector simple images like the ones we have today. A lot of people ask how come we don't show or make these type of videos, and the reason why is because they usually don't perform that good. So make sure to let us know in the comments if you want to watch more of these videos. Also make sure to give us a like. The idea for this design, we are trying to combine the two logos that we have here on the screen. We want to use the letters for the blue ones, the legacy construction, and then we want to use the top section of the red one, the little house and the buildings. When you have a logo like this, it makes sense to try to use a font that you have that is at least very similar to the original one, but we want to make the letters exactly the same because I want to show you or give you an idea if you are in a similar situation, but this is not going to work out for every single font or letter. If you had the same font, you would just type it in and then just choose the font. But let's say that you do not have it and want to find a place where to download free fonts. This is a place where we do that. Just go to www.fontsquirrel.com, and here you can see that there are so many different options, and they have free fonts and you can also pay for some of them. And here they also have a tool where you can identify different fonts. All you do just click on this button and upload a picture of the font that you're looking for. I'm not going to do that. We have a video where we show step by step how to do that. Let's go back to our design here. I have two different letters and two different shapes. They seem to be exactly the same, but they're not. Like this one I can edit it in a certain way, and this one I can edit in a certain way. What do I mean by that? I'm going to move this a little bit. They're too close. I can just keep adding like different letters like that. So that's a font that you can edit, but here I cannot do the same thing. Although I can do this. I can pull the different knots, and this is the technique that I'm going to use, and I can do the same thing with this shape. I can just highlight the knots and pull them any direction I want, or I can just choose one. And what I'm doing here, I'm just clicking on the image and then select the shape tool, and this is how you activate the knots. And you can either just pull one, or you can add both like that. You know, you get the idea. And on this one, it's a little different. I can edit the corners. Let me show you what I mean by that. This is how I can edit this. So the only difference is that this image hasn't, or shape has not been welded, and this has. Same with the letter. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in the letters and then just try to pull the knots and make them look exactly the same. And I'm going to get rid of them. And a way on how you can also trace or vector an image. I'm going to vector this one first. This is the best way and the easiest one, and it would work if you had a good size image. And I'm going to click on the image and then go to bitmaps, and then I'm going to quick or outline trace, clip art. This would be the easiest and the best way to do that, but most of the time this method won't work. You can see that there's a lot of details to be fixed, and that's why I'm not gonna do this method. And I mean, of course, I'm just trying to get the letters. And also, if I want to trace an image, there's a tool that I can use. Something I want to mention before I start using this tool is that you do not have to become a graphic designer. It works. I mean, it will help you a lot if you get really good at it. But I mean, the reason I'm saying it is because since I assume that most people that are going to be watching this video are still in the process of learning, and I'm not an expert using this Bezier tool, but I mean, if you know the basics, you can make it work. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to trace lines just to follow the path, but a way on how you can make sure that the line is completely straight. Like if I do not press on the button that I'm about to, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go a step back I'm going to start all over again. If you want to make sure that the line is straight, you can just press the control button and it will make sure that the lines are straight. And then I'm going to go here. I'm making this very fast, okay? I'm going to finish this because I want to show you another step. So once you finish or close the Bezier tool, then you can give it some color. Hopefully I did it right. No, I didn't do it right. I need to finish closing this. All right, now see that's what's going to happen. And I'm going to use this tool a lot, which is the view tool. I'm going to be using wireframe, and this is what happens. You pretty much see the lines, or if you click on the enhance tool, you go back to normal. But I'm going to go back to wireframe. Now after you finish tracing the image, and each section or each point is called a node, and I'm going to select all of them, and then I'm going to go here to select all nodes, and I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to convert curves. You can do each individually. Like let's say if I wanted to curve only this section, I could just highlight those two, but I selected all of them so I can edit all of them. And this is what I need to do. I'm going to curve them, and that's why I selected this tool here, the curve knots, but I need these to be straight, so I'm not gonna mess with them. So but you can still edit them like that. Now I'm gonna go back to enhanced, and I need to get rid of that because I do not use or need that part. All right, what I'm gonna do here, if you can see, we have two different shades. Like we have a dark red and then we got the bright red. And I'm using the Bezier tool, the one that I show you. I'm just going to trace. This is very simple since they are straight lines. But what I'm going to do before I start tracing the image, I'm going to lock this image because if you can see, I can move it around. But I'm actually going to do something before I actually do that. I'm going to do a right click on the mouse and then go to view. And then I'm going to go to document grid. And this is what happens. You're going to see the little rectangles or squares, so you can just get an idea. I'm going to place this, try to place them in a straight line. It's not going to be 100%, but I think it's good about there. Okay, now I need to lock the image. I'm going to select it and then do a right click and then go to lock object. So now my image is not going to be moving around, and I'm going to try to use the little lines to guide me. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go back to the Bezier tool, and then I'm going to start by tracing this corner here. And remember, I'm going to click on the control button so my line is completely straight. Now for this, I cannot do that because this is what's going to happen if I do that. See? So that's why I need to not press on the control button. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, and I'm going to fast forward this. Now that I finished that, I'm going to go back to view and do enhanced and show you that I can give it some color. If you can see here, I can probably move this little line up, but I mean, it's not too late. I can still fix it. Remember that we can edit the knots, and I'm not going to bother with that for now. I'm going to go back to the Bezier tool and then trace this image here. I can start from here, then control. I'm finished with that section. Now I need to do the same with the buildings on top, and I'm going to select the same tool and I'm going to start from the edge. this is how you make sure that you are closing the image. If you can see at the bottom it says none, very small letters. And let's go back to view and then enhanced, and now I'm gonna give it a different color. And the next thing I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna weld that one with the yellow one, both yellow colors. I'm gonna weld, and I select, oh, this is something I forgot to mention, that if you want to select two or more than one image, the way you can do that is click on one and then you can click the shift button, and then it's gonna select the second image, and you can keep on doing the same thing. You can select on the next one the green, but I don't need to select that one, so I'm gonna go back and select those the two yellow images, and then I'm gonna go here to where it says arrange, and then I'm gonna go to shaping and then weld. This is how I weld those two images. And the next step that I need to take is I need to make a little space in between. I mean, I can always move the image like that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna add a contour to that yellow image, and the way you do that, select the image and then go to the left. You have all the different tools here. The blend tool, I'm gonna do a left click and then add the contour, and then I'm gonna pull this image and make it not too thick. I think it looks good about there. Now I need to break apart the contour because right now it's combined with the yellow image, and I'm gonna go back to arrange and then break, contour, group apart. And the next thing I need to do, I need to bring the contour to the front. Actually, I need to bring that on top of the green, and I'm gonna do a right click, order, and then to the front of page, and then I'm going to select the black and the green images, and then go back to arrange and go to shaping tool, and I'm going to simplify. And what this is going to do, I'm going to go back to view, wireframe, and then I'm going to go back a step so you guys see what happens. See, this is what that simplify option is doing. It's getting rid of those little lines. I'm going to go back, enhance, and now I can delete that image, and now I can unlock the back image so I can move it to the side. Oh, I still need to make the little windows. I'm going to select the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to make a little rectangle, and I can use the same, so I make sure that they are exactly the same size. I can make a copy, and I'm just going to drag it down and bring it there, and then I'm going to select both images, and then I'm going to press the letter E, and what it does, it brings them exactly on at the same height. And I'm going to make a copy of those two and then copy here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that the top and the bottom image, the left ones, are centered, and then I'm going to do the same with the right images, center. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the grids. I'm going to do a right click, view, and then document grids, get rid of them, and then I'm going to do a right click and then unlock object. I'm going to move that to the side. And this is the reason why I made a little space in between, so I get that effect, because if I didn't add that, it's going to look like one image and you won't get that little detail that you get. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I could actually use the same tool and just go around the letters, do click, control, and then make them straight. This would be probably a lot easier, but I'm gonna give you another option. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pretty much use a font to make the L, E, A, and Y. I'm not gonna do the G and the C, so I'm gonna skip those. I'm gonna type in L, E, I'm going to use a font that is very similar to the original ones and is Arial Black, and I'm going to try to make them about the same size, same height. I don't know why I did that space in between. I was thinking about the letters at the bottom, but no problem. I'm gonna show you how you can move the images. Remember, I can edit them, but just to keep adding more letters, I need to weld the images. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to arrange, shaping, and weld. And if you go to the shape tool, I mean, you can, remember, you can edit the knots like that, or you can highlight or select the whole letter and just bring it down like that. See, this is another option in case you didn't know. You can edit them like that, or you can just do one by one, which would take forever, but this is a lot easier. So I'm gonna go back to view and then do the wireframe, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually going to just pull the knots until the, like, let's say like this section is completely aligned with this, and do the same with that. So I'm gonna fast forward this so it doesn't take that long, because this video is gonna, I have a feeling this video is gonna be long. I'm finished with that section. I still need to get the G and the C, and I'm gonna use the Bezier tool. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to just trace it and following the path, and then once I finish it, I'm going to edit the knots. Remember, I showed you that earlier too, how to do the curves, or curve the images. And here I need to do a straight line. Same here, straight line. Same here, straight line. Now, something I want to mention here is that the reason why I'm doing it like this, usually we use a font that is close enough. We don't bother, especially when we're not sure if it's a done deal. Unless we took a down payment, then we would spend this much time creating or doing the letters exactly the same. Usually we send something very similar, but I thought it was a good idea to show you guys, or give you an option on how to do this if you are looking for something very specific, if you wanted to please your customer. That's why I'm showing you this. Now, something that I could do here, if you can see, the image doesn't look too good over here, and you can delete some knots, and sometimes it will make it look even better. I'm gonna do that. Sometimes you just gotta be careful and try one or two and get an idea. Yeah, that one looks better. I'm gonna delete that. You don't see much change, which is always it's always a good thing, because you don't want your shape to look odd. I'm gonna give it a different color, and I'm gonna repeat the same with the letter C. And now we have our letters that are very similar to this, and for the bottom ones I'm going to use something very close to those letters. This is the option that I would give him, or I'm gonna give him, which is close enough. I'm gonna bring this on top of the original image. If you are familiar with this process, do you usually do something like this? I mean, like the method that we are using, have you used it in the past, like to make the letters? Let us know in the comments. We would like to hear. I mean, a few things that I could add here. I could just, oops, go back. First, I need to weld that image, and then I can probably just make it about the same size as the little house, or I can probably just leave it like that. So what I need to do, I'm going to center that image, the legacy section, with the little house. What I'm going to select the legacy, and then shift button and click on the little house, and then letter C to center that. And then I'm going to do the same with the construction. They are centered. This is how you can center your images. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring the picture of the van that our customer sent us. What we have to do is send them two different ideas or price ranges. Like, we're going to send them a cheaper version, car magnets, and also if we were to do the decals directly to the van. And this is the type of van. We know that this van, as well as the Chevy Express, like the windows or the panels, they measure about 23 height. So that's what we did. This is the actual image, and I'm going to do a rectangle, and I readjusted the image. So if you're going to be working on a Chevy Astro or this van, you can pretty much get that idea, you know, that this section measures about 23, and that way it will give you an idea of how big or how the logo has to be. And the logo is on the back, so I need to send that image to the back, and I'm gonna do order and then to the back of page, and then I can just pretty much readjust this to the size. Another question that we get a lot is people asking how big should the letters be, but I mean, the most important thing is to know how big the surface is, because I could tell you, okay, make the letters about, let's say, like almost 2 inches, but if the section or the surface is very small, I mean, the measurement's not going to work for you, because it's more related to how big the image or the surface is. Now, when it comes to like the decals, we have two different versions what we are going to send to the customer. The one on the left is obviously a lot smaller. This is for the back. So this is going to be the most I guess most expensive process, but we also send them for car magnets. Basically, the idea, if he wants to get car magnets, we told him he's looking at to invest just a couple $100. Like, we don't know if he's gonna get like for the two sides and then the back, probably like a small magnet for this side here. If he's looking to invest more, like let's say over $500, then he's probably looking at something like this for the sides. But if he wants to spend more than $700, then we're talking about something bigger like this, like for the sides. And then if he wants to do also the back, then we're talking about a little bit more. Now for the hoodies, we told him the estimate was starting at $33. It could go all the way up to $39 depending on how many. The samples that we sent him are all in one color, and this is for the back. So for this, the way we would do it, we will use the HTV, the Caesar Easy Weed. Usually this is the process that we do for small orders instead of trying to get screen printed transfers or any DTF. By the way, if you want to watch a video about those two processes, the screen printed transfers or the DTF process, those are usually for bigger quantities, and if you want to make it more affordable, the DTFs are more for, like, let's say if you have like a full color image. For the hoodies, we always take a down payment because we need to get the materials. It's going to be 50% of that, the total price, not for the decals. The decals, I mean, he's going to drop off the band if he decides to get them, doesn't matter which one he gets, unless he decides to go for the magnets, then we would take another down payment for the magnets. All right, well, this is it for today's video. Thank you so much. I know this video was a little bit longer, but remember that if you liked it, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Also, remember that we have memberships available. All you have to do is just go to the join button and you will see all the options available. If you want to use the decal calculator to come up with prices for this type of projects, we have so many videos where we show you step by step how we use it to give you an idea. Also, we have the design frame if you want to offer different products to your customer or different services. We have so many videos where we talk about that tool and we show you step by step how to use it. I'm going to make sure to leave more information, leave a video at the end of this video so you can check it out. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you guys until the next one. Let us know what you think about this video. If you like this type of videos, then we're going to probably invest more time in making something like this. We'll see you guys until the next one. Have a good day.